Hey everyone, ZenRyder here with the H-Town Power Ride 3 video. As we started out, you can see everyone getting ready. A lot of Super 73s and prepping. And what was great is, although the last ride I went on, we only had myself as EUC. Here we had 7 EUCs. It's really great to see Houston EUC Riders represent. So we started out at a coffee shop on Navigation Boulevard, went cruising down there, and starting out, you do have to watch out for emergency vehicles. But everyone grouped together and got ready for the ride before we took off. It's nice going with a big group of riders because you can command the road. We also had variety of PEVs, also had a few one wheels and a scooter maybe, and let's see, a couple e-skates, maybe just one there, but enjoy riding with the group. I was so glad we had a few new EUC riders out today who haven't had on rides before, which is awesome. We like the sport to be growing. The reality is there's so many new e-bikes and other electric vehicles being sold out there that it's a great time to improve our infrastructure. You know, we're using roads here, but wouldn't it be nice if we had a lot of our own dedicated paths or better shoulders? Hopefully, as we plan in the future, we'll be able to have better access. Going uphill here, I think it was slowing down the Super 73s a bit. Sometimes you feel the need for speed, then it's got to put the hammer down on the veteran Sherman. It's got a lot of top range, the ability to go faster than I'm comfortable with, but fast enough that you can keep the wind out of your eyes and the road ahead of you. I had the chance to meet Jamal here in the red, and he came quite a ways to come to our ride, and it was great to see him out, and hopefully we'll see him on some rides in the future. It was nice meeting him. In this ride we had a real mix. Here we're going along trails, and then we transition to streets. And these Super 73s have the 4-inch tires. My veteran Sherman here has a 3-inch tire, but can easily handle all these types of roads and trail conditions. Versatile vehicle, can handle lots of different situations. It's nice. You're seeing up close there the veteran Sherman, my remodel from my previous video, Pimp My Sherman. And liking that. I'm trying to keep it in good shape, but coming to an encounter with some mud in a little bit. We're all waiting at a light here, and you get the idea of how big this group is, though. It's a nice group. It's fun hanging out. After we continued down Navigation Boulevard, we then took a turn through George T. Mason Park. Then we cruise along the Braes Bayou, and here's where we wound up encountering some mud from a brief rainstorm that crossed the field. That's the bridge, I think, by George T. Mason Park. It was nice. We also took some pictures down at the end of it. Kind of a circular area, which I thought was kind of a good spot for pictures. Do the tiny planet perspective, using that on the title slide as everyone gathered around. I like kind of just taking the pictures and video as it happens rather than staged photos so much. I'm talking to Jamal a little bit more. He's on his Nikola. It's a 16-inch wheel, normally a pretty solid wheel. We cruised around the bike paths. Then came up and around to go over this pedestrian bridge by the park. I always like going on the bridges and sticking the 360 camera kind of out over the side. It gives you a perspective where you get to see above, below, and kind of all the way as you travel over. I did one in San Diego on the Spruce Street Bridge, and that's like a 300-foot bridge. This one's pretty good size too, though. But I like the perspective that it gives you. It's pretty cool. We did cruise through some parts of town that were not that good, with a dog kind of attacking us. But for the most part, we stayed out of those types of areas, pretty much in the public areas. Coming up, I believe, is where we hit the mud from this little flash storm that happened right before. They'd already checked out the trail in advance and everything, but this little bit of storm wound up running some water across the trail, and it turned into some pretty thick mud. It's all blue skies until we hit that. First mud encounter wasn't too bad, just a little bit, not a big deal. And for most people, just a matter of kind of slowing down, being a little bit cautious. Wasn't too thick, honestly. But then came the thick stuff, and I feel I'm pretty good at mud. I didn't think I was going to have a problem going through this, but at some point there, that mud was like 6 inches thick, and my tire was just sinking it. Practically to the point where it's going to go onto the pedal. So I decided to go ahead and walk it off rather than go down. But I did not want to dismount there, so. But then I had mud on my shoes and everything else, and I'm going, man, my newly pimped out Sherman, and here it's getting all thrashed. It was a good thing that I had a fender. I was following some of the bikes, and they were throwing mud like crazy because some of the ones that didn't have fenders. And my Sherman has a fender back, and I added this new little fender in the front. But the fender in back, when I took it apart yesterday, it was just so thick with like an inch of mud. It was packed in. All right, now we're down to the University of Houston area, and I was following the bikes in front of me, and this bike went to the right, but then went, oh, can't go downstairs. I just said, I'll just take it. And that was kind of cool. Just said, hey, we can handle this. I like the versatility that we have here. I kind of like the night shots a little bit. If it gets much darker, then sometimes it gets pretty grainy, and I don't like it when the video shows up grainy, but these held up okay. The only problem I was having is I think there was some moisture in my lens, and it looks foggy in some cases. I have to look into that, because I haven't had very good experience with night tire. shots. You get the blaring of the headlights. It's kind of hard to see. So, you know, the other day I bought some shoes from a drug dealer. I don't know what he laced them with, but I've been tripping all day. It's good seeing Gleb at this ride. Phil. Gleb's out at a lot of rides. It's great having him out. It's always at the front of the pack. So we continued around and then made it back, our way back to Navigation Boulevard. It was about a 20-mile ride. We say just at the end here, we're kind of cruising down the streets and going through the lights. And the sun was setting, but it was still a nice night out. Actually, if anything, it cooled off a little bit because it was probably 100 degrees. I was driving on the 45 coming down to this ride, so I was glad to have it cool off a little bit. The rain also helped it before this, but the ride was dry except for that mud, so otherwise a pretty nice ride going by the stadium there on one of the final legs. Have you guys heard about the new veteran wheel coming out? I ride the Sherman, but what they're saying now is that it's going to be discontinued, and the new one coming out is called the Abrams. The Abrams is after one of the different tank model came after the Sherman, and the Abrams is even bigger and better. So I don't know. We'll see what we find out from that. The wheel, I think, is going to be a little lighter and have other features that a lot of people wanted, but we don't have a lot of specs from them right now. It's kind of vaporware, but it is official that they are coming out with this new veteran Abrams. I'll be interested to see some more details coming soon. Well, I hope you enjoyed. It's getting dark now and at the end of the ride. But I hope you enjoyed coming along on the Houston Power Ride 3. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and click around on all the other videos that are out there. Take care. We'll catch you next time.